What's up guys, Ray here with another episode of This Is December. Today we're going to be looking at the 6th episode anime of absolute and pure unadulterated craziness that is Fooly Cooly. Fooly Cooly, or FLCL as it's colloquially known, is absolute and sheer balls to the wall madness. It's only 6 episodes long, which is probably a good thing, because if it was any longer, people would be at risk of losing their minds from how much stupidity and awesomeness seems to be going on in this smorgasbord of an anime. But I'm starting to get a little bit ahead of myself, putting the cart before the horse, so let's take a moment to step
off the tracks.
So FLCL revolves around Naoto Nadaba, a 12-year-old working class boy who lives with his widowed father and grandfather. His life in the city of Mabase is just unexpectedly interrupted with the arrival of Haruko Haruharu, who, and no word of a lie, proceeds to run Naoto over with her yellow Vespa before giving him CPR and hitting him in the head with her bass guitar. Probably the best entrance into an anime I've ever seen. Naoto discovers that the blow to the head has opened up what is called an NO portal, from which giant robots produced by a company called Medical Mechania emerge periodically, pretty much. Naoto then returns home to find Haruko working at his house as a live-in maid. It is then later revealed that Haruko is an investigator for the Galactic Space Police Brotherhood. Haruko then decides to use Naoto in her investigation to find the Pirate King Atomisk, and it is discovered that she is at odds with the company that is currently using Naoto's head as a portal for their giant robots. Because of all the craziness and shenanigans happening around him, Naoto is then kept under watch by a man named Commander Amaro. He is a special agent of the Bureau of Interstellar Immigration, who is under the impression that the company using Naoto's head as a portal for their giant robots are out to basically conquer the entire galaxy. Because of all this, Naoto is inevitably drawn into a freeway battle between Haruko, Amaro, and the company currently using his head as a portal for their giant robots. So did you follow that explanation of the plot? No? Well, neither did I. That's pretty much what it feels like to sit down and watch Fooly Cooly. It will take several tries to get the plot through. It will take several tries before you stop realizing new things. It will take several tries before you finally feel like you have some form of a grasp on what the heck is going on. It's a good thing that it's only a 6 episode anime, because if it was any longer, you probably would give up after the first viewing. I liken it to Neon Genesis Evangelion. They're both great series, but it's very hard to understand everything that's going on at any given moment in the series. For 2 completely different reasons, obviously, but the principle remains the same. The difference between the 2 is that Fooly Cooly is 6 episodes of half an hour length, so that is 3 hours of pure unadulterated stupidity, while Neon Genesis Evangelion is about 26 episodes or so of half an hour length. So as you can see, huge difference. Fooly Cooly is the sort of series that you can sit down and watch, and you won't be able to stop watching it until the end because it's that enthralling. But at the end of it, when you're not understanding what is going on, you can just sit down and rewatch the whole thing again. Now that you know how it ends, you can start to piece together the puzzle that is what the animators are trying to convey throughout the series. I'm probably doing the show more harm than good by trying to explain it to you, so it's the sort of series that you have to sit down and watch to try and understand what everyone is going on about. So let's just move on. We might come back to this mess later as we go to the next segment, which is
the good, the bad, and the dubbers.
So the good news is that there are only 3 main characters in the series. Well, 4 main characters, but the voice actor for Commander Amano is incredibly hard to find on the internet, so I'm only going to talk about the 3 main characters. The first is of course Naoto Nadaba, who is voiced by none other than Barbara Goodson, who's also done the voice work for Terry McScotty from Battle Beat'em, Son Goku from the Dragon Ball series, and Star Summers in the English adaptation of Technoman. Haruko Haru is voiced by Gary Wolglin, who's also done the voice works of Saber from Fate Zero, Celty Sturluson from Durarara, and Rip Van Winkle from Hellsing Ultimate. Finally, Mamami Samijima, who I believe may be a love interest. Again, so much is going on, you don't really understand the relationships between the characters, but I'm pretty sure she is the love interest of Naoto. Either way, she is voiced by none other than Stephanie Sheh, who's also done the voice work of Neko from the upcoming anime K, Miho Azuki from the English dub of Bakuman, and Yue Hirasawa from K-On! As I tried to explain earlier and dismally failed at, Fooly Cooly is an anime where you're pretty much just along for the ride. You're not in the driver's seat. It's incredibly hard to focus on everything at once. You just basically have to sit back and let everything wash over you at once. Once you know how the ending is and you've got the major events of the series, then you can start to piece together the more detailed parts of the series, like the background plots, the relationships between the characters, and everything else. As I said earlier, it is only a 3-hour-long series, so it is one that you can go back and you can rewatch in an entire day. You could watch it 3 times in one day if you so wish, although I would probably recommend taking breaks between those viewings at the risk of, you know, going completely and utterly bonkers. But all that aside, Fooly Cooly still has some sort of childlike innocence and charm to it that you just can't help but love. It is incredibly weird, it is incredibly fast-paced, and sometimes you do feel like you don't actually know what is going on, and that is probably true. You will not know what is going on, but there is still something that keeps you coming back for more. At the end of every episode, even though each episode is half an hour, you just can't help but think, oh, I need to have more, I need to watch another episode, because it is really good. I'm gonna rate Fooly Cooly a 7 out of 9 vending machines. It was an absolutely fantastic series, and probably one that I should go back and rewatch so I can understand a little bit more of what is going on. But it does lose some points for its original presentation, which is just incredibly fast-paced and all that. The art style is constantly changing. There are actually some parts of the anime where a scene will be done in a black and white manga form, with the camera just swapping very quickly between different panels and stuff, and those scenes are probably some of the more crazier of the scenes, as too much is just going on in that entire panel. But it is still an amazing series, and one that I highly recommend to people who are watching this video. So that's another episode of This Is. I'm Ray. Catch you on the flip side.